Why is it that 90% of people stay broke? If you're tuning into this explainer, you probably already know the basic math. We're not here to just crunch numbers today. Instead, we're going to dive right into the hidden behavioral traps that literally keep incredibly smart, high-earning people from actually achieving financial freedom. Just imagine, for a second, never having to look at a price tag at the grocery store ever again. Sounds completely impossible, right? Well, for millions of people, it absolutely is. But it's not because they aren't smart or don't work hard. It's simply because they're playing the game of money using a fundamentally broken set of rules.
So let's jump into Section 1, the illusion of income.
Look, we've all been sold the exact same myth, that simply earning more is the ultimate answer. We constantly tell ourselves, hey, if I just land that big promotion or hit that next salary tier, all my money stress is just going to vanish. But let's be real here. If a high income automatically meant you were wealthy, literally every doctor, lawyer, and executive you know would be a millionaire. And we all know that is definitely not the case.
The hard truth we have to face? Wealth is actually built by your habits, not just your paycheck. Don't get me wrong, a high income is a fantastic tool to have in your belt, but it's your daily behaviors that actually tip the scales. It's what you choose to do the exact moment that direct deposit hits your checking account that dictates your financial future.
Which brings us to Section 2, the lifestyle inflation trap.
Let's picture two people both making exactly 75 grand a year. Person A gets a raise and boom, immediately signs a lease on a depreciating sports car and upgrades to a much bigger apartment. Person B, on the other hand, lives slightly below their means and quietly, consistently buys assets. Now fast forward 10 years, their W-2s might look completely identical, but person B is building an absolute empire, while person A is just sweating every month to afford their own lifestyle.
This right here is the silent killer. It's called lifestyle inflation. It's this wild psychological phenomenon where every single time your income increases, your expenses magically rise right up to meet it. Instead of actually becoming wealthier with that hard-earned pay bump, you literally just become more expensive to maintain. Moving on to Section 3, the power of compound growth. Okay, we need to kill a really intimidating myth right now. You do not need a giant mountain of cash to start investing. Sitting around waiting until you feel like you have enough money is the exact psychological hurdle that guarantees most people never actually start. And honestly, that delay is costing you deeply. The real winning strategy is actually incredibly boring. You just invest small amounts and let compound growth work its magic over decades. Sure, in the beginning, the progress feels agonizingly slow, kind of like tossing pennies into an empty jar. But patience is absolutely the strict price of admission if you want long-term wealth. Because eventually, something amazing happens. You hit this tipping point where your returns actually begin earning their own returns. Your money goes to work, hiring even more dollars to work alongside it, completely independent of whatever you're doing. You finally detach your time from your earning potential. It's exactly like planting a tiny seed that eventually grows into a massive tree. The hardest part isn't getting that seed into the dirt. It's leaving it alone long enough to let it grow. Sustainable wealth requires time, consistent watering, and honestly, a whole lot of restraint.
Next up is Section 4, multiple streams of income.
Listen, relying on just one single paycheck is arguably the most dangerous financial position you can possibly be in. The number one is terrifying in personal finance. If that singular income source gets cut off by a sudden layoff or a random medical emergency, your entire world fractures overnight. That is exactly why wealthy folks build multiple streams of income to diversify their cash flow. We're talking about a balanced mix here. Maybe some core investing, a small online business, selling digital products, a little freelancing, or even content royalties. Setting up this kind of diversification creates ultimate stability. Now, do not let that overwhelm you. You absolutely do not need to launch 10 different income streams by tomorrow morning. You just need to start building one additional source. Just one. It's simply about adding one single extra pipe to your financial safety net and then growing it from there. And finally, Section 5, starting your wealth journey. Bringing this all together requires a fundamental shift in how you actually view your cash. See, money is just a tool. Every single dollar you spend on something trivial today is a dollar that cannot work for you tomorrow. But every dollar you do invest is a powerful seed with a very real potential to multiply.
So how do we actually put this into practice? It's all about small, smart, repeated decisions. Read the books, learn those high-leverage skills, invest consistently like clockwork, avoid unnecessary debt like the plague, and above all else, be patient.
A lot of people quit because the results aren't immediate, but remember, true wealth rewards those who think in decades, not days.
There is this classic proverb that I absolutely love. It goes, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today." It is quite literally never too late to begin.
So I'll leave you with this thought. We know the blueprint works, and we know exactly which behavioral traps to avoid. The real question is, will you actually start, or will you let another year slip away? Take that first step today and completely change the trajectory of your life. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.